Hey everyone, let's talk about how to fill a piping bag. Main thing that we want to avoid is getting the top or any part of the piping bag dirty and having the filling come out of the wrong end, okay, which is the top. We want it to come out of the pointy end. I like to use disposable piping bags. There's all kinds of piping bags out there. You can use reusable. Heck, you can even use a Ziploc bag if you want, and we'll talk about that in a second. The main thing you want to do is make sure that you fold the top over so that you have a big cuff. That's going to solve 99% of your problems right there. I like to fold over 1/3 of the length of my piping bag, okay? I'll put my hand under the cuff to kind of keep it open for me. I'll use my other hand to make sure that this opening is nice and big. Scoop it up and pop the filling right into the bag, and then I actually use my other hand to pinch the frosting off. I can do this with one hand holding the piping bag and one hand scooping, okay? Make sure that you're not overfilling as well, okay? Once you have your filling in, unfold that cuff. You're just gonna snip off the tip of that piping bag. Now what I'm gonna do is, with the hand that you write with, the way that I think about it is I'll make an L, and I will put this tail end of the bag in between there, and then I'll just pinch my fingers down. Once you've compressed all your filling down, you're gonna twist, 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 okay? You should have a nice taut bag here, okay? No saggy bags. We don't want a saggy bag, because what's gonna happen is as you're pressing that filling out, let me show you. You're pressing, you're pressing, you're pressing. Look at this. I have a saggy bag. That's really hard now. I'm losing control again. And so what you do to adjust as you're piping, same thing. We're gonna squeeze that frosting down so I have a nice taut bag. Twist, 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 and now I'm ready to pipe again. So you're constantly adjusting as you're piping to make sure that you have a nice taut bag. If you still feel like, man, I'm still getting filling coming to the top end of my bag, you can use a rubber band, you can use a clip of some sort, or you could take this tail end of the bag and wrap it around your thumb, and that will ensure that no filling is gonna go out the wrong end of the bag. So that is a super easy, super basic way to fill a piping bag with no tip in. Now let's fill a piping bag that has a tip in it. I'm gonna use a bit of a different method. We're still gonna fold over the top third of the bag. Remember, we wanna fold that over to prevent overfilling and to make sure that our bag stays nice and clean for us. What I'll do is I will pop that tip in. I actually pop it in before I snip, okay? I like to see where that tip lands, because the common mistake that I see is people over trimming the end of the bag, and then what happens is you put your filling in, you start to squeeze, and then what happens is your tip actually gets forced out the bag and there's a little bit of a cream explosion, okay? So what I like to do to prevent that is I put my tip right in there and I get it nice and tight in there. I'll take some scissors and I'll score the top of the bag. You pull off that little bit of plastic, but you wanna make sure that every single one of those teeth or that pattern is exposed, okay? In this situation, we're just working with a circle tip, so as long as I have that circle exposed, I'm good. So you don't need to trim off that much, and then this way I can apply lots of pressure and my tip is gonna stay in the bag, okay? So that's one method. Now let me demonstrate. Remember I said you could use a Ziploc bag if you wanted to as well, okay? A lot of people don't have disposable piping bags at home, and you don't need to get anything crazy. Let's say we wanted to use this Ziploc bag with a tip, or not. Let's pretend this is a disposable piping bag. Then in this case, the other method is to actually just eyeball it and think, I think I need to cut off about this much, okay? And then put your tip in and force it through the hole that you've cut. And that's a super common way of doing it as well. I do prefer the other method, okay? I have all my teeth exposed, or no teeth in this situation, but I have my pattern exposed. I'm ready to go, I didn't over trim. But I do prefer the first method because it really makes sure you're not gonna over trim and your piping tip will not pop through the bag later on, okay? So now for filling, I'm gonna also use a different method here. Let me put my tip back into this bag. Got my cuff folded over. In scenarios where I have a very soft filling, like this is a lemon curd, if maybe you had a pudding or a very soft ganache, you might need 2 hands to get it in here, okay? Do you see what I mean? Because otherwise I'm gonna be sitting here all day trying to fill this up, okay? And of course, you could use a scoop, I know. But let's pretend we wanna have both our hands available. Lots of people are familiar with this little trick here. You can use a cup to be your third hand, okay? So I've got my piping bag that is held open. Now I can use both hands to do this, to get this soft lemon curd in here quite a bit more quickly by using both my hands to get it into the bag. Once you have it in the bag, we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna unfold that cup. We're going to twist, twist, twist. You can see my lemon curd is ready to come out. And then you're ready to pipe, okay?